T. Fletcher, and tonight we're going to do something a little different. But before I start, I hope you guys had a wonderful day. And today I have my cousin Rejoice. She will be joining me tonight, and we're going to talk about, or we're going to look at two videos, and both of the videos are with Ellen Coughlin, and we're going to talk about the videos after. Now, my cousin Rejoice, she didn't know too much about Meghan, and I filled her in on what was going on with her, and she was surprised. So after talking with her, I figured, I'm like, let's do a podcast, because I feel like it'd be interesting for people to hear from someone who's not that familiar with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. So go for it, Rejoice.
Yes. Oh my gosh, cousin. It is so good to be on this podcast with you. Thank you so much for inviting me and for sharing with me about, the backstory of Meghan Markle. And wow, thank you so much for filling me in and getting me up to speed. The things that I've known about her are just, that she did marry into a royal family. She married the prince. I know that. I know that there was some hatred towards her because the color of her skin. But getting to the nitty gritty of things, oh my gosh, I have to keep this lady uplifted in prayer because, oh my goodness, I don't know how she does it.
Amen. Amen. That is so true. So, Rejoice, I would like for you to look at the first video. And this is a video with Ellen talking to a gentleman from GB News. And I guess he thought that she was going to come on and she was going to smear Meghan, but she gave him the shock of his life. She was actually she presented herself as a real journalist, and that's something we don't see often. So let me show you the first video, okay?
Okay.
All the reporting on Meghan Markle has been very biased.
Meghan Markle's posh £6.5 a jar raspberry jam might look homemade, but it turns out, after all, the fruity treat is apparently whipped up on a huge industrial estate thousands of miles away from Montecito. Well, joining me to discuss this is a broadcast journalist, Ellen Coughlin. Ellen, welcome to the show. People think they're buying into the illusion of something crafted by royal hands or formerly royal hands. It's not quite as it seemed.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think this is the gotcha moment that the press are hoping for. This is actually industry standard. To meet demand, she obviously has to outsource where it's manufactured. She can't set up a production line in her kitchen. But as I said, this is complete industry standard. If you look at Martha Stewart, she's had a whole career on building homemade products, food products, and also homeware products. And they're all manufactured in Pennsylvania, while she lives in New York. So I don't see her anytime soon setting up a production line in her New York kitchen to meet demand. And even if you look at the Windsor Strawberry Reserve that's being sold on the Windsor website, that's not made in Windsor. Believe it or not, it's made elsewhere in factories around the UK. So yeah, this isn't the gotcha moment that people are hoping for. It's actually just a smart business move, really. If she wants to be able to meet demand this time round and not sell out within a half an hour like she did the last time, this is the only way to do it.
Oh, you're being very charitable there. But what about the carbon footprint? Here's a couple that fly to the Google climate change conference, stand there barefoot, having flown on a private jet, and they're flying jam 2,000 miles across America. You're not telling me they could make that jam a little bit nearer to their Hollywood estate?
If we're looking at Meghan Markle with this fine tooth comb, that means we have to open it up and look at absolutely every single massive business in the world and ask, why are you producing it so far away from home? Shouldn't this be produced in your kitchen? What about the carbon footprint? It can't be one rule for Meghan and then other rule for other global businesses.
Well, I think perhaps it can be.
Well, are you going to look into the carbon footprint of the Windsor Strawberry Reserve that is made elsewhere in the UK? We're flying that around the world. Lots of Americans buy that.
Do you work for Ellen? Do you work for Meghan Markle?
No, I don't. But what I
Okay.
am is a journalist and I'm fair and I like unbiased reporting. So that's what I base my reporting on. And I think that actually all the
Great.
reporting on Meghan Markle has been very biased.
Okay, good to leave it there. Thank you, Ellen.
So that was interesting that it was, didn't she smoked his behind, did she not?
She did. You know, okay, cousin. So these people are so ridiculous. Strawberry reserve, some jam. Who cares if she did not make it in her kitchen or wherever she made it from? I mean, you think about where things are manufactured from, and then we still end up being the consumers. Do we care that, oh, you know, your favorite wine, oh, it was not, well, you didn't press those grapes yourself and it didn't come from your backyard, so I don't want it.
Isn't that
What the
crazy?
helly? What the helly? What is he tripping about? And then he asked the reporter, do you work for Meghan? Excuse me, sir.
Did you hear him stumbling over his words? He was like, do you work for Meghan? But not only that, see, what you did not catch is that he was lying. There is nowhere written or noted that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle visited or had flew across the world, or jetted across the world to meet with Google. And there's nowhere where it's noted or written that they are telling people not to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, Prince Harry, he's got a company called Travelist where, you know, he's telling people, okay, it's okay to fly, but make sure you count your carbon footprint. So if you didn't know about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry or the Duchess of Sussex, you would
Mm-hmm.
believe that Prince Harry and Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had a meeting with Google, and you would believe that they're telling people, you know, not to fly.
Correct.
So it was nice to see her pretty much present herself the way she was supposed to and be the
Mm-hmm.
journalist
Mm-hmm.
um, that we need to see more often. But
Absolutely.
there was another video, there was a follow-up video, and she was talking about people thanking her and just showing her the love and support that she deserves for you know, speaking out for Meghan. But she was pretty much like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do, I'm a journalist. So I'll let you listen to that. Okay.
Okay, let's go for it.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love on this video. I've been reading all the comments and yeah, I'm feeling the love. I basically just done what every journalist should be doing. I'm not a Meghan Markle stan. You know, I don't have posters of her on my bedroom wall or anything. I'm just a journalist and I'm trying to do what's right. I'm trying to report on her fairly. I obviously wasn't sure before going into this interview what was the standard in jam production, so I just researched it. I had a look online and I just wanted to see what was industry standard to make jam and to meet demand, and outsourcing it to a manufacturing plant is normal. Like, it is so normal. Every single business in the world does that. All of your favorite celebrities, they're not making things themselves. Kim Kardashian is not knitting knickers and bras herself at home. Like, she has a manufacturing plant to do it, but she's the brains behind the brand. It's the exact same thing that Meghan Markle is doing, but she's just held to a different standard for some reason. And exactly this comment, if she had made it in her kitchen, there would be uproar about how unsanitary it is. There would be questions why she's not using a manufacturing plant when she was inevitably unable to meet demand. And there would be thousands of articles complaining about customers not getting their products, which is what we're already seeing with the wine. Now, regardless of what you feel personally about Meghan, you might like her, you might be indifferent about her, or you might love her. But one thing is undeniable. The way she's being covered in the press is deeply unbalanced and it's extremely harsh. All you have to do is open your eyes and go online, type in Meghan Markle and look at the article headlines that come up. The way she's covered, no other celebrity in the world has been covered like that at the moment, and no other member of the royal family has been covered like that, besides Harry probably. So I just think
the state of journalism today has completely lost its integrity and its fairness. And it's the number one rule that we learn as journalists when we go do our master's degrees, is that we need to be balanced. We need to be fair. And for some reason, that has just been thrown out the window with Meghan. Now, I do believe it's probably because hate sells more papers, and Meghan Markle sells a lot of papers. So just her name alone, she is very popular. She'll get loads of clicks and she'll make the papers a lot of money. So pairing those two things together, hate and Meghan Markle, it seems to be very profitable. And Meghan Markle even said herself, she doesn't need everybody to love her. She doesn't care if people hate her. But the press is starting to feel like relentless and bullying at this point. And yeah, like I said, there's no other celebrity who gets this. I think Princess Diana probably got this level of hate in the press until she died, of course, and then she was loved.
Can you believe what she said?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Well, I'm going to say hats off to this journalist. I love her content. I love her delivery. I could tell that it's all with good intention. She has respect for Meghan Markle as a human being. Okay, can we say that? She doesn't see color, you know. And this lady, she's like, hey, I don't do the bullying. I don't like what you guys are saying about her. And you know what? I'm going to stand and I'm going to do what's right. So hats off to her, first and foremost.
Right. But as a journalist, have you ever heard a journalist say, I'm going to use a little devil advocate. Have you ever heard a journalist say, well, I'm not a Meghan Markle, or I'm not a Jennifer Aniston's fan. I don't have her on my wall, but I believe that, you know, we're supposed to support her fairly. Have you ever heard a journalist say anything like that about someone who's famous or a celebrity or politician? No,
absolutely not. So that just comes to show, that just basically just comes to show to society that, you know, how much harm people have put on this lady for no apparent reason. It's no a reason, but we know what their reason is. Let's just say that. But for this lady to come out and say that, like you said, and she doesn't have to do that, you know. But she, in all fairness, she sees what's going on and she knows that it is not right. And she's like the only person else that I know that had this type of hurt and hate come towards them was Princess Diana. And oh, may God rest her soul.
May God rest her soul. Yeah, I mean, I hate to be extremely negative, but I'm thinking how they are, like you said earlier, she's human, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think anyone could deal with the type of level of harassment and bullying, lying and smearing that she have received, and yet she continues to thrive and smile and be classy and professional, and you know, drink her wine and make berry trays and all type of little things, you know. It's like, but okay, so cousin,
yes,
listen to this. Because of what is going on right now, just in general, you know, what's going on in America with, you know, everything that's going on the right, it feels so good to see somebody who's happy all the time, who just want to share love.
Exactly. We need to see that for sure.
We need to see that more for sure. And you know what else we need to see? We need to see a man who's going to read you and write you and break your behind down. So I'm going to show you another video, okay?
Come on now. Yes. Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Remember how I said I work in media? I can bring receipts. Let's go. Okay, first one, I'm going to move out of the way. Meghan Markle business. The global search volume for the entire planet is 440 searches for the last month. In the US, the main market for Netflix, 110.
So Bryce Gruber, suburban Chardonnay in human form. got on TikTok, slapped on some concealer, curled her ego, and thought she did something with a SEMrush screenshot. She pulled up 3 keywords: Meghan Markle business, saw it had 440 searches a month, and said, "See, no one's interested." That wasn't a mic drop. That was a malfunction in bronzer and brain cells. Because Bryce, that wasn't data. It was digital diarrhea disguised as insight. Those 3 keywords is like Googling Queen Elizabeth dog shampoo and declaring the monarchy is irrelevant. It's lazy. It's dishonest. And worst of all, it's calculated. What's next, Googling Princess Diana entrepreneur and declaring she never mattered? Let's be real. You cherry-picked one irrelevant phrase, skipped over the 673,000 global monthly searches Meghan pulls on her name alone, and called it proof. You didn't break news. You embarrassed yourself in 1080p. You want metrics? Here's a few. Meghan's Instagram reels have pulled over 260 million views in 2025, more than William and Kate combined. Her podcast, #1 in 6 countries. Her Netflix docuseries, record-breaking. Her lifestyle show, streaming in 47 nations. That's not just relevance, it's an empire. But here's the real question. Why is it always the same crew making these videos? Why is it always the plain yogurt pundits, the casserole crusaders, the sunscreen supremacists, and the folks from the land of no spice, lining up to dissect a black woman's every move like it's a group project for Racism 101? And before you say, it's not about race, let's be honest. You will never find a black or brown creator posting a takedown video of Meghan. Because we don't spend our screen time punching down. We don't obsess over a woman who's already been dragged through the press, stalked by paparazzi, and vilified in every language. This is the unconscious bias Prince Harry warned us about. The deep, festering discomfort when a black woman refuses to shrink. At best, it's microaggression. At worst, it's full-on racism in a Sephora rewards tier. This isn't commentary. This is a hobby for the gentrification nation, the colonizer cosplay crew, the I want to speak to your manager delegation, and the White Walkers of TikTok, who wrap their disdain in fake analytics and call it objectivity. And Bryce, you're not just part of it, you're its final boss. You call yourself a commerce expert, yet you couldn't even monetize your hate correctly. Meanwhile, Meghan dropped a rosé and sold out in under an hour twice. She gets paid for her relevance. You get views off petty. That's not influence. That's content creator cosplay. Let's talk about the real optics. You looked into your camera, overexposed, underblended, and overestimating your own IQ, and tried to dismantle a duchess with a bar graph and a prayer. You didn't look like an analyst. You looked like a saltine socialite spiraling at 2 a.m. Trying to brand your envy as analysis isn't clever. It's pathetic. You weren't reporting. You were doing emotional projection in a filter set to desperation. This was never about Meghan's business. It was about your discomfort. It was about control. It was about a black woman existing freely, joyfully, successfully, and needing to drag her down to your level. But here's the catch. You'll never be on her level. She's not even on your screen. You had to summon her name just to get attention. So let's be clear. You're not the voice. You're not the expert. You're not even background noise. You're a footnote to a footnote in a woman's story you'll never be part of. And the next time you want to go viral at Meghan's expense, just remember, she's the headline. You're just the haunted spreadsheet. And no one is searching for you.
She's the headline. You're just something of a spreadsheet.
Did he not bury her and dig her up and then bury her behind again?
Cousin,
listen, my God.
He slayed her, he buried her and resurrected her from the dead and put her back under. You hear me? Woo! 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 Listen, I was trying to write down all that, so I'm like, hey, I may have to use some of this one of these days. Hold on, slow this down, sir. He came in. First of all, congratulations to Meghan and her rosé. I would love to have some. Cheers.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right. Which sold out less than an hour. And
less than an hour.
Less than an hour. Yes. This actually Shy, to be to be honest with you, she actually dropped 3 times. I think her first drop was in April, and her last drop was on the 1st, and that was the rosé wine. But each time she dropped, she sold out within an hour or so.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
It's
yes. Who
crazy.
does that?
It's oh my God. So we are happy to see her selling out, and I wouldn't say showing anybody that or proving anything, but just letting people know that she's got supporters. She's got people who support her, who's looking at her every move. I mean, not people like you, but people like myself,
Right.
And whatever they're throwing at her, we're gonna come back 10 toes down.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So it looks like what Meghan has done here, and I just love this. It seems like all of the bricks and all of the dirt and all of the smear campaign that they're throwing at her, they're just actually allowing in every brick and every dirt that's being thrown at her, she's just building another empire for herself, because she's already part of the empire. So go ahead and throw more bricks. I need those bricks in order for me to keep on standing, in order for me to keep on rising. So go ahead and do that. So hats off to Meghan. Yes.
Well, and another thing before I end this this video is, no matter what, Meghan, she doesn't have to promote herself. The media is promoting her for free, and like we both know, whether it's good news or bad news, it's news and people are talking about you, So that's putting your name out there. That's free promotion. So she's winning. So the best thing that they can do is just shut the up, right?
Exactly.
Just come on in our lane and be a true journalist. Stop hating, because it's happy over here, right?
Exactly. Yep. And there is nothing that they can do. No, there is absolutely nothing that they can do. It just seems like she just keeps getting better, like fine wine, that rosé to be exact, over time.
That part. And that is an awesome way to end this video. Thank you so much, Rejoice, for coming on with me. And I would like to make more videos with you, supporting the channel.
Absolutely. We're going to do that.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.